Okay, so here I go talking about my paranormal experiences. Um, let's see. The first time that I've ever experienced anything was when I was a little kid. I was at my dad's house. My parents have gotten divorced, and I actually was at his house for the weekend. And my best friend lived next door. When anyone ever offers anything to me, like, oh, like, make yourself at home, or like, you can go into my fridge, get anything you want, and it's like, I'm just gonna like sit in like one corner of the couch and just, that's it, that's all I need. And my best friend's mom was actually like, you can come over anytime, you can go play on the swing set, you can do whatever you want. I never did it until this one day, and I totally regretted it. I never did it again after this moment. Um, my dad was actually right next door. He was right in the garage, and I crossed over our rock wall, and I go swing on the swing set. And it's weird because, I don't do that alone. And, my friend wasn't home, which is also the reason why I did it, because it's like, they'll never know. Um, so I was just swinging there for a few minutes, and I just got this really bad feeling, and it was like, I don't know, it really scared me, and I kind of just stopped swinging on the swing, and I just looked over that way, and I don't know why I even looked that way or why I even made eye contact like automatically, but as soon as I did, I like flipped out, and there was this, I don't know, like at the time I thought it was just a person standing there in like this black cloak, and like you couldn't see their face, but they were just standing there like just staring at me. And up where I was looking, there's woods, and there's like this huge tree, and they're just standing there, and I got so scared that I just ran. I booked over our rock wall. I ran to my dad, and I'm like, Dad, there's somebody up in those woods. They're staring at me. And my dad's like, Are you kidding? Are you serious? And I'm like, Yeah. Because I'm a kid, he's not really gonna believe me, but he walked out, saw the person, or so I thought, and my dad's like, Get the f out of here. I'm not gonna swear. Get the f out of here. I'll beat the out of you if you don't leave. And the person's just standing there, and my dad, was like, "Are you fucking kidding?" Ooh, sorry, explicit, but whatever. Like, get the fuck out of here. And the person turned around and just slowly walked away. Like, he's not gonna do anything. Now, at that time, my dad would do anything for me. I'm still his little girl, so he definitely would have beaten the shit out of whoever that was. And just kind of walking away like that, my dad's like, all right, if they come back, come get me. And I'm like, no, I'm going inside now. But just looking back and seeing them walk away, like they were just doing it so slowly, and like to this day I'm just like, I don't think that was a person, because like their entire inside the cloak, you just could not see their face. And I know, like, just looking at them, it was just a very eerie feeling. And I just like, I never went in those woods. I even walking by them, like I would always look in and be like, why? Like it's such a small area, and then there's houses behind it. So I didn't quite understand that. And I do have brothers, but at the time they weren't there. They were either at work or with their girlfriend or boyfriend. And it's like, okay, like I just, scariest moment of my life. And I definitely did not want to sleep in my room, so I slept in the living room for like years. um Now, tying into that experience, when I was 17, um I'd gotten a new bed set, and my whole room was like flip flopped around, and I was having a series of night terrors, and what would happen would be, what would happen? What would happen is I would wake up to like a very loud bang, like it would sound like just it would just be really really loud, and it would be right next to my ear, and I, that was going on for a few months, and by the time that it got to like, I don't know like how many times it happened, but like I just kind of got sick of it, where I was just like, I'm not gonna wake up scared anymore, like it's just whatever. And I always slept with my TV on, and the one night I turn it off and I actually hear this loud bang, I kind of, I convinced myself, I was like, no, there's nothing there. I'm going back to sleep. But then that thought came across my mind where I was like, what if it is? What if there's somebody in my room right now? And I don't remember locking my door. So the panic started to rise, and I'm just laying in bed. I'm like kind of kicking my dogs a little bit to like do something to tell me if somebody's there. And I kind of turn over a little bit and I peek open my eyes, and there's a hooded figure standing in front of my window, which is clear. There's nothing in front of it. I did not have any clothes hanging up. Just, it was perfect rectangular window, and now there's a hooded figure just standing there and looking over me in my bed. And at this time, I got really, really, really terrified, because I'm like, oh shit, somebody is in my room. And, again, I'm kicking my doors. I'm like, do something. And I kind of was like, all right, maybe if I pretend to sleep, they'll go away. So I did pretend to snore, and I kind of like picked over the covers and flipped over to that side, and I actually laughed. Like I let out a laugh because I thought it was funny. And then, I was like, this is ridiculous. And when I went to kind of, throw back over my covers and face what is probably not there, is when I actually heard it walk around my room. And it walked around my bed, every single creak that I know is there, like just, it walked. And I had a desk that was like on the opposite side, and I had a chair that was blocking away towards me, and the chair moved and hit the desk. And at that point was when I was like, oh my god, okay, I have to do something. Somebody's in my room, so my dogs aren't going to do anything. And I throw over my covers. I'm about ready to punch someone in the face, and nothing's there. And then I kind of like stood there, like, sat there frozen, and I kind of like peeked over my bed, and nothing was there. At that point, I turned on my TV, and I was like, I what the hell? And there are things under my bed, so I know nothing's under there. And like, because I have that fear that somebody is just gonna, be under my bed, so I always have to have something under it. But to have that experience again of like somebody in a hooded cloak, I don't know if that was just, because of what scared me as a kid. That maybe that the first time it happened wasn't really an experience, but this time it was. And just like the generalized fear of that happening, like just. But I do know that it wasn't sleep paralysis, because I was able to move. I was able to think and, think clearly, and, laugh and kind of move and be able to jump up and be ready to punch somebody. So I know it's not sleep paralysis. And, it's just like one of those things where I also have two little dogs. One never comes in my room. I don't know exactly the reason why, but he always looks so fast. Like, he'll look the top of my ceiling, and then he'll zoom over to that side, and then he'll wait, and then he'll do that, and then he'll zoom over to that side again. And it's like, it really creeps me the hell out, because it's always in the dark corners of my room. But, those experiences, like, I don't know, know, it's I don't know. It's kind of like I don't know. I believe that maybe something is out there that maybe I don't know. But those are the experiences that I had, like those two. Now the most recent one that I've had was definitely tying into the cloak, but not really. Uh I have a new bed, of course, new queen size bed. Had this for a year. Um and I've since that that night with the hooded cloak, I've been sleeping with my TV on every single night. And it does obviously like interrupt sleep. You're not supposed to sleep with the TV on because your mind can think that it's day and then you just keep waking up, which does happen to me. But on some occasions I do kind of gain up the nerve to turn off my TV and sleep without it. But this night, this night, this night, of course, was one of those nights where I turned off my TV. Now, I kind of was prepared for it. I thought like, all right, if it happens tonight, I know it's not really real. It's if there is something there, it would have hurt me by now if it really wanted to hurt me. And with all the research I've done, is that uh they're shadow figures, and nobody understands them and all this stuff. And if you really want to get into that, you can look that up yourself. But I did not expect to see what I saw this night. I didn't even like I read about this, like I even saw a movie about it, but I didn't really think that it would kind of happen like this. I thought it would just be the hooded figure standing in front of the same window again that's over there, but it wasn't. And so this night I still had my dog up on my bed, the bottom of my bed, and I've actually, because it's a queen, I moved closer to the wall and I kind of spread out so that way I'm not close to the edge of the bed and see that happening. Well, somehow I kind of inched my way close to the end of my bed, and I heard the internal gunshot again. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And the internal bang, and it kind of does sound like a gunshot. And I moved it again, like I turned over to the side towards that window, and I peeked open, and there was a figure. This time it looked like a small figure, either kneeling or maybe a child. Um, I can perfectly see the outline of the head and the ears, and they were just looking straight at me. I didn't see the eyes, but I knew it was looking right at me. And I just was like, oh shit. And I said it so loud. I'm like, come on, are you kidding me? I was so terrified this time because it was actually like, it actually looked like a person. And, I didn't know what to think. I'm like, oh my God, is it here for me this time? Is it gonna like kill me or something? And then of course I got in my head again, like, holy shit, like there's somebody here. And I was like, all right, the only way to make sure is just kind of inch towards my remote and turn on my TV, because there's no way I'm getting up to be able to turn on my light. So I'm inching for my remote. Now I'm laying in bed, and all you would see, if there was somebody in here who wanted to kill me, all they would see is my hand go up and try to turn on the TV for about 5 minutes. And when I got that TV on, obviously there was nothing there. But I did feel relief, and I was like, well, that's new, because I've never seen like this entire time that like I've had these experiences, I've never seen like an actual person, like the outline of a person, and like just the ears like were just so defined that like if I were asked to draw it, I would be able to. Obviously, it's easy because it's just black and just the outline, and it's easy to shade in, and that's it, just a blob of black darkness. And I just can't believe that, like, just there was no seeing through it. It was like my window's right there, and for it to be like standing in front of it, and for me not to see anything through it at all, not the outside or anything or any facial, um, you know, like it just makes it unbelievable because I still wasn't in a state of paralysis. I was able to move, I was able to talk, I was still here. I wasn't really like asleep because I technically was making my own dream because by the time I woke up I was dreaming. And like you understand that like when you're dreaming and then you kind of wake up a little bit enough to change your dream to how you want it, and then you kind of like move around and you feel yourself move around in your bed, and it was like that. And then when I woke up to like hear the like to hear the internal bang in my dream, and then to kind of like open my eyes like what the fuck. And ever since that night I've always slept with my TV on. And it's definitely become where I'm kind of obsessed with paranormal things, definitely Ouija boards. And I worked at a Halloween store, and I could have purchased one, but I didn't. But my brother actually said that when he was younger, he lived in this room, and him and his friends used a Ouija board in here. Which, kind of, I'm like, what did you do? Did you open something in here? Like, great. And now here I am in here with it. And it's funny because he has his experiences too. Um, he's he's seen things downstairs, and um, even in his new place now. And it's just like, I don't know if maybe we're just more open to it, or if maybe it's like a psychological problem. I'm just gonna believe that I'm just open to it because I'm like not literally obsessed, but I do believe that there are things out there that we do not understand. I mean, think about it. We're here, we're alive, we're breathing, we can dream. And we're still finding like new creatures, and I definitely do believe in aliens. I mean, we cannot be the only ones here. You just can't. Like, it's just impossible for us to be the only ones here. It's crazy to even think that, at least in my opinion. Um, but I do think that whatever's been happening to me, like there's just I don't know, like hmm. um and I do have more, of course, and I will try to keep this a little short because I've been blabbling and going on. Um Definitely one of the things that does happen that I'm actually okay with is from time to time, like I'll hear a hey or a hello, and it's gotten to the point where it's just hey, like I just say it back, like what. And the first time I was terrified because it was as soon as I turned off my TV, I jumped into bed, and then it was a hey, and I'm like, I'm not saying anything back, like fuck that. My dog was at the end of the bed too, so I thought maybe she let out a breath, but it was too defined as hey. Um, and then the second time it happened, I actually gained up the nerve to say what, and then I just kind of waited, and I was like, all right, I'll turn on my TV again. Um, the third time it happened, I kind of just was like, what? Like, I was pissed off. I was like, seriously? But I think it's maybe because I've gotten used to it that I expect it to happen, that I actually make it happen, if that makes sense. Um, could be that it's just my room or I'm being haunted, which would kind of be cool, but at the same time, oh god, like, you chose the wrong person. But another experience that goes heart to heart to me, heart to heart to me, that's weird. Okay. That goes to heart to me. Um, I don't know if that sounds better, whatever. Is when my grandfather passed away. Um, that was definitely a hard time for me because I didn't get to see him. Like I mean, ooh, okay. I saw him before he passed away, and was already prepared. Like, everybody was already prepared. The doctors told us years ago that, oh no, he only has months to live. He had cancer, and his doctor didn't find it until it was in, one of the worst stages. And, like, it's like a doctor who we've been telling, like, he has a problem with his foot. You're not looking at us, oh no, his foot's fine. Tumor led to cancer. And then yeah, just terrible. Just so, so terrible. But I didn't really, I didn't, like I prepared myself. I technically already said goodbye. He's like, oh God. So what had happened was, it was about 2 in the morning, and I'll go a little back. So it was around 8 o'clock at night, and my mom got a call from my uncle, who was in a rush, who had said, um, he's, he wants to take, um, what the hospice gave him. And mom's like, no, just give him the Robitussin, because his heart won't be able to take what the hospice gave him. What the hospice gave him is only if he is on his last straw. And, he was just like, I gotta go. He wants the hospice stuff, and, to take care of the pain. And my mom's like, no, give him the Robitussin. He didn't give him the Robitussin, and he gave him the hospice stuff that made him even more congested, and his heart couldn't take it, and he died in his sleep. And around 2 in the morning is when we received the call. Like, my mom got it, and I heard them fumbling around upstairs, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, I'm like, it's not 6 o'clock, it's 2 in the morning. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I just knew it, and I started bawling my eyes out. Ooh, okay. So my mom and my stepfather left, and they went to go see him. My mom told me, no, it's best for you to stay home. I don't want you to see that. And I was like, yeah, I know. I don't want to seem like that either. So uh so they go, and they, like, my mom texted me, and she's like, I should have brought you. Everybody's here. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, it's perfectly fine. I'm sure he doesn't want everyone around him anyways. Um so okay. So that same day, like, everybody there got to really say their final goodbye. And, I kind of didn't, but, that's perfectly fine, because I technically did get one. Shit. So that day, my boyfriend came over, and, like, I really needed somebody, and, I had him here, we were doing everything as normal. We were just watching TV, watching a movie, and, I was still upset about him. And, while we were watching the movie, my, because I have 2 windows in my room, the one that's right next to my TV decided to, like, just the side of it decided to move, like it was pushed. And I was like, I just kind of looked at it, and I looked at my boyfriend, and he was like, what? And I was like, no. We started watching TV again, and next thing I see is something black shoot, like, just, it was a very black round figure, shoot from that window to my door. And then we both heard, which thankfully I didn't say anything before it happened, the handle of my door, and it moved. And my boyfriend just kind of looked at me and was like, yep, I heard it too. And then I told him what I saw. And then, well, before that, he was like, it just got really cold in here. And I'm like, oh my God. And, then I told him what I saw. And then he was like, well, what if it's your grandfather? And I was like, oh shit. Like, I was like, no, like, I mean, I get it though, because I was the only one that wasn't there. And, you know, like, I was just like, well, you know, I love you and I miss you and I'm glad you're not in pain anymore. And, you know, I was just like, holy shit, like, it totally would be, like, because just to have that happen, like, for me to see that, and then both of us hear the door, and then I get colds, and then there actually be a cold spot on my bed right next to me, was definitely, like, that was real. That's not, like, I had another person there to experience it with me. And, you know, that gives me hope that there's maybe something out there. But, I gotta stop talking about that. I'm like just so upset now. There's snot coming out of my nose. Oh god. I should have brought tissues before I did this. Um, I'm not. Oh god, that's terrible. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. That's my experience, and I hope you guys enjoy watching. And I'm sorry that I talk with my hands too much, and I got emotional, and I'm so sorry. And yeah. So thank you for watching, and I don't know, maybe I'll have another experience one day. And until then, if you'd like to be notified of that, you can subscribe or whatever. I don't care. Um, thanks for watching. Bye.